Привет из Дубая! С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about emotions and let's start with the definition.
Emotions, there are two ways how to describe, how to give definitions. First, the definition. First, this is expression of our face. For example, I am happy, I am sad, or I am showing that everything is going to be boring. And another way, this is part of our internal world, how we feel this. Sometimes person which is polite will show that everything is okay, I am nice and friendly, but in the heart, he or she will think how it is going not so good as I was expected. This is not well situation.
And what I would say what are the building blocks or main moving parts of the emotion?
Wow. Apparently, I will have a chance to tell about this. Several years ago, maybe 3 or 4, I was invited by one info guru in his office, and he was promising me to show something very outstanding. But maybe you will say that I'm getting wrong. Not very outstanding, but just outstanding. And he showed me the big whiteboards, which was filled with some rectangles, and in rectangles there were emotions. And he told me, I just invented several months ago new scheme how to describe emotions. There are 7 main emotions, but intersection of them, 2, 3, 4, or even 5, give us another emotions. Let's look at it. I was looking at this and I was saying, but I couldn't explain. I couldn't understand. I am not a specialist. And he was saying, no, let's make a photo. I will show that you have approved. And this is enough for me. And I was repeating once more, but I am not a specialist. Yes, I know several emotions and I know intersections 2 and 3, but not more. Maybe you are inventing something, but maybe you are missing it out. Who knows?
And when it comes to like a different level of maybe showing or even understanding emotions, what might be the ways of using it?
For example, when you ask your small boy or small girl if he or she wants to buy something like ice cream or like a toy, she or he always will say, yes, I want, yes, I want. But you know, if you will buy it often, the portion of happiness will getting smaller, smaller and smaller. And in just usual case, you just ask, do you want ice cream or this is small toy? And the child will become happy and he or she will say yes and will applaud. But if you will making this every day, you will see the angry face. Why you don't buying me some candies or some sweets, or why you don't buying me this doll or this small tank? Emotions are dependent from our expectation. And for example, when I was meeting Dalai Lama, by the way, I was writing to him letters each month for 25 years. He told me, if you will understand how world works, you will make it going smooth.
And obviously, emotions, I would say, like something that might be moving us, whether we want it or not. And I do believe sometimes we wish we would never feel certain things, or maybe sometimes we would really wish that the specific moment or even the second of joy would actually last longer. So let's talk about the control of the emotions, and maybe we can also start with like an observation, like what it takes in order to understand and trying to detect and identify what exactly you feel and how then you can control or at least to pretend that you're controlling whatever you feel.
I have a great hope that in 2 years you will work in London and maybe you will remember my words. When I was working on Canary Wharf, this is a special region of London, I note that a lot of people, they have really stone face, like a poker face. They do not show any emotions. The same was when I working in Japan. The same was I was working for Macau casinos and so on. And the same you will see when you will see the movies with a superhero like James Bond, like let me Universal Soldier, and also Predator and so on. All cool guys, they never show emotions. And this is very easy to play. This so-called zero emotion face. You just making that do not moving your muscles and nothing more. But if you will see for this person in real life, something is missing out. This person doesn't give you emotional hug, and you see like an empty place. For example, or another example, this is, for example, social workers. They sometimes very tired to work all the day without any vacations, but they have a smile which will calm you down, and you understand, yes, I should speak in low voice because this person is trying to help me.
This is actually a great part of the emotions, and it leads to my next question, because sometimes there might be person, or maybe even the group of people who may be in need of certain emotions, like a certain empathy, or maybe certain gradients of the warmth. So where to store those, like additional reserves, or like a batteries of the emotions, so that in the time when you need it, you actually, no matter how tired you are, no matter like what happens in your life, you still can turn on specific mode, you still can put like on specific face with the mimic, and you can find the right words and put the magic of the emotions into it.
I was one colleague who was working before me, and he was, I don't know how to say it in English, but he was комсомол worker. Is it okay to say комсомол worker?
If it's a foreign word, it's okay.
And he told me, you should switch on your smile before you getting out of the door of your car, of your elevator, and so on, and switch it off when the person whom you dedicate this smile is passing out. And it's helped a lot. Usually man uses just 9 muscles on the face to be smiling, but women they use 27, and the difference between men's and women's smile is in, I don't know how to say this, twinkles, not twinkles, wrinkles.
Wrinkles
Close to the eyes. So sometimes when you're trying to be polite, you just press a bit your eyes to show this. In Russian language, it's called like a goose nose, goose legs.
I think goose legs will be something that would be really easy to understand. And when it comes to like a different, I would say ages, or maybe like a different cultures, and let's talk about the cultures first. So probably for some nations, it might not be necessary to show all of the spectrum of your emotions, while for some of the nations, I would probably refer to more like a Western countries. It's actually quite nice to be like a slightly sweeter than usual, more like a bubbly, more like a smiley. So what should be the better approach, like when we're dealing with the different cultures and the countries?
Let's start with Americans. You should smile all the time to show all your teeth as many as you have, and you should show them in white mode. When you talk, for example, with people who live in hot countries, especially in India, they always smile, and also Thai people. But in these countries, smile means everything. I could kill you. I want you to be dead. I am happy to see you. I will be making a fraud deal with you, and so on. When you are talking, for example, in Arabic countries, usually you use your smile just for, I don't know, 10 seconds when you are kissing each out or hugging each out, and after you could sit without any smile. But also there is a difference. For example, in Muslim countries, never smile to a woman. In some countries, you should always smile to a children, like in Turkey, for example.
And when it comes to using emotions in business, so for example, let's say there is a negotiation, whether it's external or internal, or whether it comes to, like communicating with your partners or colleagues or peers, what should be the approach here? What should be the barriers or the boundaries that we need to look on in order to be efficient?
To be efficient, you should distinguish emotions in several ways: for relatives, for colleagues, for neighbors, and for all other peoples. And you should never be sweeter than that it is needed. Your family should use you like a battery. You should smile, you should show your love in all the ways you could it provide. When you go, for example, with neighbors, you should be very stable, polite, but not sweet. When you're talking with your colleagues, you should be serious in average manner, but also you should be, I don't know how to say, ready to serve, ready to help, ready to support. But when you are talking with some people who are not in your cycles of забот,
Care,
in your
careness.
cycles of careness, you should be slightly polite, but not too much.
And the last question will be how knowing about emotions would help to make this world a better place.
Maxim, previously in several podcasts before, we were talking how to be efficient. And I was not efficient because I was not using emotions. I would completely made like a robot. I was thinking by math, by program languages, and so on. And I was on several trainings in USA, in Mexico, in Japan, in France, and in different groups, different peoples were telling me the same. Switch on your eyes, use your expressions, show and tell people what you are feeling. Don't be close.
А мы рассмотрели навык эмоции и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.